Yeah, I think overall we had a bit of a positive tone today after a rather red tape yesterday following of the announcements from President Trump and then from China to retaliate in terms of trade war and protectionist measures. And I think this is something that will be with us for quite some time. And it is interesting that although we had quite a positive start this morning, following on from a positive Asian session, it seems that it faded towards the afternoon. And it's clear that the market still is not quite sure how to digest the information that we had over the past couple of days. In stock specifically elsewhere, I think we have had Disney come back and increased a bit for Sky and the assets from Fox. So that was quite interesting. So I think that saga is yet to be determined. As you know, Comcast is the other bidder in the assets from Fox. And then here more closely in London, we've had another vote in Parliament in the Brexit debate. And Theresa May is fighting to not have Parliament or to give Parliament too much of a say in the Brexit negotiations.
That with the fusion, or how should I put it, between the telecom and the media sector, that's really interesting. It's happening here in Sweden as well, and of course in the United States. Do you see signs of that elsewhere as well?
Yeah, I think, the telecommunications sector has been under pressure for so long because we've had all those headwinds in terms of pricing pressures and the ongoing focus that obviously they have to deliver more, they have to invest in broadband and in the networks, but yet at the same time they had to deliver their services at ever lower prices. And then, we had the disruptors coming in. We have real competition from Netflix and obviously Comcast trying to position. And this is why you've seen more and more of the incumbents trying to focus on what kind of added services they can offer through their networks. And hence AT&T Time Warner has been the one that has been very much in focus. And now that the regulator gave the green light, I think you have seen Comcast coming back in to bid for the content assets and obviously Disney having a very strong interest in this. And I would imagine that you will see some European operators following on this because, as I said, because of the headwinds that the telecommunications sector is facing in general.
And then, of course, we have the OPEC meeting coming up here at the end of the week. What will come out of that? What are your expectations?
Yeah, I think my expectation is for a lot more headlines, because what we do know is that OPEC is very well known for last minute deals. And we've seen a lot of positioning happening already. We had the Russian energy minister kind of aiming for 1.5 billion barrels of quota increase. But yet it seems that the actual number, if any, so if there's any agreement, might be a bit lower. And there's real tension between the oil consumers and the oil producers, smaller versus bigger countries. And it's very clear that there's a lot of tension building ahead of the Friday meeting. And as I said, the one thing we can be sure about, there will be a lot more headlines. And it seems that there's a general perception that maybe there's a focus on keeping prices where they are. But I guess there might be a few surprises still in the waiting.
And then can you share your thoughts on the European automotive industry? I mean, there's been some concern in recent weeks concerning tariffs and so on. What do you see for those companies?
Yeah, absolutely. Ever since President Trump singled out the car manufacturers as a target of his protectionist measures, you have seen a lot of uncertainty building because, it's clear that this is a sector that is very important for the European countries in terms of their exports. And as such, that has been a real dampener for the sector. And if you look at the investor positioning, that actually has hit now a 7-year low. Now, having said that, this is not the only element that is weighing on the sector, because we've talked about for a while that obviously there is a bit of a peak growth concern happening. And we have seen, particularly here in Europe, a bit of a slowdown, and in Asia as well. So it's not only that, you have to fear of import tariffs being slapped on these cars, but at the same time, there has been an expectation that we might have seen peak growth numbers for these for the manufacturers at the same time.
Thank you very much, Sonja Laud in London, for talking to us.